Russia has taken tanks from the 1940s out of storage, according to new images from a monitoring group, as it continues to lose large numbers of tanks in Ukraine. The Conflict Intelligence Team, a group that monitors Russia's military, shared images of the antique tanks on a train. It said that the images show T-54 tanks, which the Soviet Union started producing in 1947, moving west from the far east of Russia. It said the tanks were photographed leaving the city of Arsniad in Russia's far eastern Primorski Krai region. It shared the images on app Telegram, but did not give a date they were taken. The T-54 was produced over several years, so it isn't clear how old any particular tank may be. The CIT said that using a T-54 is better than having no tanks, but noted a host of drawbacks from the primitive technology, like rudimentary sights, a lack of rangefinders, and poor gun stabilization. The T-54 and T-55 tanks are a series of Soviet main battle tanks introduced in the years following the Second World War. The first T-54 prototype was completed at Nizhny Tagil by the end of 1945. From the late 1950s, the T-54 eventually became the main tank for armored units of the Soviet Army, armies of the Warsaw Pact countries, and many others. T-54s and T-55s have been involved in many of the world's armed conflicts since their introduction in the second half of the 20th century. The T-54A-55 series is the most produced tank in history. Estimated production numbers for the series range from 96,500 to 100,000. They were replaced by the T-62, T-64, T-72, T-80 and T-90 tanks in the Soviet and Russian armies, but remain in use by up to 50 other armies worldwide, some having received sophisticated retrofitting. During the Cold War, Soviet tanks never directly faced their NATO adversaries in combat in Europe. However, the T-54A-55's first appearance in the West around the period of the 1950s, then the beginning of the Cold War, spurred the United Kingdom to develop a new tank gun, the Royal Ordnance L7, and the United States to develop the M60 tank. Production of the initial series of T-54s began slowly as 1,490 modifications were made. The Red Army received a tank that was superior to World War II designs and theoretically better than the newest tanks of potential opponents, the 100mm gun-fired BR-412 series full-caliber APHE ammunition, which had superior penetration ability when compared to the T-34 that it replaced. The serial production version, designated T-54-1, differed from the second T-54 prototype. It had thicker hull armor, 80mm on the sides, 30mm on the roof and 20mm on the bottom. As production ramped up, quality problems emerged. Production was stopped and an improved T-54-2, Object 137R, version was designed. Several changes were made and a new turret was fitted. The new dome-shaped turret with flat sides was inspired by the turret from the IS-3 heavy tank. It is similar to the later T-54 turret, but with a distinctive overhang at the rear. It also had a shorter bustle. The fender machine guns were removed in favor of a single bow-mounted machine gun. The transmission was modernized and the track was widened to 580mm. The T-54-2 entered production in 1949 at Stalin Ural Tank Factory No. 183. Uralvagon Zavod. In 1951, a second modernization was made, designated T-54-3, Object 137 shillings, which had a new turret with outside undercuts, and the new Tisha 2-22 telescopic gunner's sight instead of the -20 Tanzanian shillings. The tank featured the TDA smoke generating system. A command version was built, the T-54K, Komandersky, with a second R-113 radio.
Последующем были применены стабилизаторы в двух плоскостях наведения СТП-2.